that was just the show that I chose. It gave me 6 weeks to try and come in a little bit leaner. It was good timing. Um, the only show that I've ever done in Georgia was Lee Haney, and that was my very first bodybuilding show ever, and I did figure. But all of my shows have always been elsewhere. So, but the timing was just perfect. And with bodybuilding, when I was looking at the list of pro shows, there's not a lot out of all the pro shows that have women's bodybuilding classes, and even fewer that have masters bodybuilding class shows. So you have to choose wisely. It's because I hear a lot of people say, oh, there's a show every weekend, there's something you can jump in, and that's not really accurate, not for women's bodybuilding, because our shows are few and far between, and then me sticking in a master's class, they're even fewer and far between.
Yeah. Other than I think Tampa, where Tim Gardner, I said again, Linda, also Chicago Pro. I think there's shows like a couple of shows that do like have the classes. Like there's the Max Fit. There's actually the Master. There's the Masters Olympia. A couple others. Most of them, have physique because it's the new division. It's not too new. It's the division that I think they created because they were pushing out women's bodybuilding. It wasn't that long ago. Remember, they kicked out women's bodybuilding out of the Olympia. Arnold dropped it from his shows.
Yep.
But then Jake Wood came along, and I gotta say, every time I say his name, yo Jake, I want that money, I want that gun. I don't know a lot about Jake, so I gotta do it. And he came along, he gave the opportunities for it. Because like the thing is, those divisions exist because you know what, as you were a figure for a while. You think about doing bikini, but as you evolve as an athlete, your body grows and develops, especially when you're older. You get more mass inside. It's harder to get that look as a physique competitor. They want you more tight, more athletic built, the smaller waist. But then if you look at the division now, there are women who were both, like I said, one of the women who won in their class, that's Robin Mays. She was doing physique, and that was her debut in women's bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. It's getting to the point where the division is starting to come together and meld.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell who's figure, who's women's physique, who's female bodybuilding. Some of these figure girls are as big as the bodybuilders, and same with physique. There is a huge blurred line between. I mean, bikini's even getting bigger. I mean, it is.
Yeah, because some bikini girls look like they're more like the early versions of figure when figure first came out. And look at a division like wellness is a very popular division now. It's getting a lot of attention, getting more promotion. Those women have either jumped from either physique or from figure to get into this or bikini. But like I say, one thing they need to set is, I keep talking about this a lot, they need to set in the guidelines which separate divisions. Just saw a lady who just made her recently. She got her Olympic qualification in Vancouver. Her name is Manon. But now she's planning on maybe competing, I think, in a couple of weeks at the Daytona in physique. This is before she makes her Olympia debut. I think the Daytona is like is it the week before the Olympia? I'm trying to remember. It's on the list. And you look at people like, some of the other women who, as an amateur, you were doing both divisions. Because, I saw one lady who I got an interview coming up. She got pro cards in 3 divisions.
Right. That's great for her, but also if you fit in one division, then you shouldn't fit in the other division. So I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know how that really works, because I see that a lot. People cross over, and I didn't even realize as pros in masters, they still cross over. Mm-hmm. A lot of the girls that I competed with in bodybuilding also did women's physique. So, but yes, if you fit in one division, then technically you shouldn't fit in the other division. But
often what I heard, the judges go by what they see, but then you're supposed to stick to the guidelines of what you're supposed to see.
Right.
If you're seeing somebody who looks more like a physique competitor doing figure, then she should be knocked down.
Right.
And say, hey, you're not. I'm saying it's a way to try to get your pro card because like I said, double dipping is common in the amateur divisions, and doing it more because in masters you still have to pay. That's the crazy part of it. You have to pay which division. So what's the point put an extra $300-$400 out for one division? You got to pay for nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So folks, What we're gonna do, we're gonna jump into Christine's social media for a little bit. We'll go follow her on IG. If you're interested in follow the lovely Mrs. Ware, her link is in the description. Her links are in the description of this live. Check her out, support her. These ladies can use that. But guys, and there's no offense to you, Christine. This is just a disclaimer I say every time when I do this. Guys, no the pics. She has
Oh,
a husband. She got a kid.
but
Come on.
not stopping them. It's not stopping them.
I know, I know. It's
I
just,
get them all wrong. I'm sick of looking at them.
you thinking like you say like you think I'm old. No, no, no. Guys, see, this thing is there's muscle pros out there. We love you ladies when you're buff and you're ripped and you're shredded. There's an old person, there's an old muscle smo saying, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. So it's just and
I
guys, that's
my husband and I send them to him, and he's like, "I don't need your picture." I was like, "If I got to look at him, you got to look at him." I'm like, "I don't want to look at him any more than you want to look at him." So
it's just crazy. But like I said, people be respectful. And you know my rules. So we're gonna jump in her social media for a little bit here. And we got her right here. Here she is with her. What was that feeling like when they say, being there and that opportunity? Even though you took fourth, it was pretty good, especially to the stack lineup you had.
yeah, I went into it knowing it was my pro debut show. I wasn't expecting anything. I knew I was going up against people that had some of these ladies been pros for quite a while, and I was the newbie. So if I said if I make top 5 at my first pro show, I was going to be thrilled, and that happened. It was already a very successful year for me. I had set out to get my pro card, and I did that. So this was just like the cherry on top of the cake for me. But I was happy with fourth. I was, and the people who placed in front of me should have placed in front of me. I'm not one of those athletes that can't see where my weak points are, or can't, there's a lot of people that be like, well, I should have beat him because of this, and I should have beat him because of that. And I can look at pictures and I can clearly see where I came in at fourth. No shock to me, no surprise. I have things that need to grow and tighten up and work on conditioning, and so I was very happy.
I see you got some cookies here. Ooh, they look pretty
Oh,
good.
I have eaten quite a few of those.
And here's is with your lovely husband. What's his name? How long y'all been together?
20 years. We've been married for 15 and together for 20, and we still like each other.
He's in good shape too. He works out and train with you also.
He does. He's my workout buddy.
It's good that they have that same passion for each other, also for the sport. Here's the picture. This is from I think was it 2022 to 2024 at the North Americans, and you look really impressive. You
Thank
know,
thank you.
yeah, yeah.
That conditioning, that's a hard one for me. I think I'm built for off season.
Yeah, and I see that your coach is Shelby Starnes.
Yeah,
He is. I think I know a lady who competed at that show who's also one of his clients. I mean, he's one of the top guys when it comes down
he,
to women's bodybuilding.
he only does women's physique and bodybuilders, and he knows our bodies, and he's really good at what he does. There's never a time where he tells me something to do and I second guess it, or I think, you sure about that? I always trust him.
I see you work with also on here is Sheila Black, who is an Olympic competitor back in the day. She is a legend in the sport. I was a fan of her. I think she had a great physique, classic line, great look. I mean, she did a bit in physique for half a minute, but I think she's truly more women's bodybuilding than anything.
Yeah, she is, and she's just a wonderful soul. She's wonderful to work with. Most of my posing um, throughout the years has been with Kenny Wallach, who is amazing. He is an amazing posing coach, and I had hired Sheila to work on my routines. And from there, we grew into a friendship, and she does my posing and my routine. So, but with her, she has a dance background, so she's fabulous at the routines. She
Yeah, I
always makes
know.
it so easy when she shows me the routines, and I'm like, "You want me to do what?" So I don't look quite as graceful as her when I do it, but I try.
Well, I know I heard Kenny Wallach. I think Crafty Lays. I think he had quite a few competitors at that show.
Yeah,
I know, and he's probably one of the top guys. And so, and
he
here's
is.
your, that's your darling baby.
Daughter.
Yeah, and she's a senior now.
Yep, she is a senior, so
Yeah,
here she's off to college.
yeah, it'd be just you and the hubby here. And
Uh,
this is when you got your pro card, and
it,
yeah. And what was that feeling when they told
uh,
you were IFBB pro?
it was so wonderful. I'll never forget the words of "and your new IFBB Pro is," and they say your number first. And I remember looking down at my number, thinking, "That is me, isn't it?" And then they said my name, but it was so surreal. It was wonderful. I'd worked so hard for that, and as you're doing shows, and you're not winning, you have to realize that there's a lot of people out there that compete for year after year after year and never get their pro card, and that's just something that. But I was bound and determined. I was like, I know I can do this. I'm gonna nail this conditioning at some point. I'm gonna bring it, and it finally happened. So it paid off.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I've known ladies who competed for 20, 30 years before they officially get the pro cards. And, they do the sport for a passion. You have to be passionate about bodybuilding
Yes,
because this is a sport where it's not as mainstream compared to other sports.
right.
Not as much money or recognition. I mean, you put more money into it than get out of it.
Very much so. Very
Mhm.
much so.
Yeah. So after the show, I'm gonna ask you this, Christine. What was that thing? I know in that diet, your hunger. What was that thing that was calling your name? What was that thing that you
Stuff.
desired the most?
I, every time my husband be like, "What should I eat tonight?" I'd go pizza, because I will make you fat while I'm in prep, because I want to watch you eat all the things that I can't. So I cook a lot. I bake constantly when I'm in prep. People think I'm nutty, but I will, because I want other people to eat what I can't have, and I want to watch you eat it and enjoy it. Apparently, it's my porn. I don't know, but I will literally make you fat if you're around me while I'm in prep, because I will bake things and cook things and make you eat them. So there was a lot of cookies being made, and a lot of like little desserts, and I'm on a sourdough bread kick, so I was making loaf after loaf after loaf of sourdough bread, and I couldn't eat any of it. But
I learned this. A lot of bodybuilders are foodies, especially those women have to deal with. I know some women got in the body because of you know, abuse of food. I mean, sometimes issues with food. But
yeah,
because food is part of the process of a bodybuilder. This is the mindset of most other people around the world when they think about bodybuilding. I just take this pill and that pill, I take steroids to get bigger and bigger and bigger. No, it's if you don't follow the guidelines and the process and also the factors would cause you to get to this level, you just go to pop a test or anything like that. I,
yeah,
I know people tell me this, at George. If some of these people take the same shit I take, when I'm training and getting ready, they wouldn't look like me
no,
because they don't follow the regimen and the guidelines and also be consistent. That's one
right,
thing. The point about being a bodybuilder, you have to be consistent. I know a lady who's friendly, who's probably by your age, who she competes, and that is Melanie Horton, great lady, a legend.
yes,
People like so many other women. The Masters really has grown the last few years. If you saw, the Masters Olympia is coming back next year.
right, yep.
So, so what you thought? You think you might want to throw your hat in and see if you can try to get a shot at
That's
it?
definitely a thought. Now I got to shift gears, because my goal was a pro card, so I did that. So now I have to have a new goal. So why not the Masters Olympia? So um obviously, I've got to grow. I've got to put on a little bit more size. I'm waiting on my feedback from my first pro show. So it'll be interesting to see what my feedback is. I know what my feedback is for myself and what I want to work on. But it'll be interesting to see what they tell me my feedback is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll take this off season to really work on those things. And I've learned to shift my off season. When I first started competing, off season was difficult for me, because I came from being overweight, and then you get lean, and then someone tells you to pack on more weight, and you're like, I don't want to. But I finally have kind of changed my mindset where I've embraced it and realized that this is where the work is done. Because a lot of people really think that prep is your important time, and it's not. Now is your important time. Now is when your calories are going up, you're able to get in the gym, you're able to lift heavier, you're able to build that muscle. And prep is nothing more than just peeling back those layers to see what you built in your off season. So if you screw around in your off season and you're not sticking to your plan, your diet, you're not working out because you're like, well, I'm not in prep. I can skip that workout. I can skip that cardio. I can eat that burger. I can eat this. I can eat that. You're doing yourself a disservice because this is where all the work is done. So having that mindset now off season feels important to me. So it keeps me driven and it keeps me focused. So I don't eat off plan often. I mean, I do, like I'm craving something, I eat it, but 95% of the time I'm eating my normal macros. So
Yeah, and that's the important thing about food, the process of what food you take. So you just can't eat everything. You can't eat burgers all day. You have to have certain foods where they have low carbs, high proteins. You eat more lean meats,
yep.
vegetables. There's so much to this that people need to understand. Just and you say you stuff in your family's face. I know your husband say like, "Damn, you tired of these cookies. Eat the cookie. I want you to eat the cookie." And your little girl say, "Mommy, I can't eat the cookie anymore." No, you better eat the cookie, baby. I was like, you sit there and watch y'all eat. But yeah, it is tough, to switch from, okay, I want to get a little small and lean, and then you want to get big and huge. I mean, there's a lot to the sport that people need to understand.
There is, and I explained to somebody the other day when they said, "Oh, I'd love to have your body or something," and they made the comment that I can't stick with things, and I was like, "Well, that it's about consistency." I said, "I didn't build this overnight. I didn't build this in a year. I was like, this is 6, 7 years of consistent